All right, so hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Iteration 1. My name is Miguel and I'm here with my colleague.
Federico, it's a pleasure. I'm Italian, he's Spanish, but
Yes.
today we're only going to talk English, and for all this project we are going to talk English.
Yes, only English.
Okay.
We're not going to be talking, at least in our conversation here, we're going to talk a little bit more about the format and what we intend to do with this little project, but for now we're going to be talking in English. So
Yes, and as Miguel mentioned, the agenda for this video is that we're going to do a little introduction about the project so you are aware of what we are talking about
Yeah.
and what we are planning to do, and then right after we will start with the first conversation. Hopefully it will go well. We have no idea.
we have no idea. We've never done this before.
I've never talked to a camera like this, and
Yeah, I have a little bit of experience. I had a podcast about EVs and sustainability, but haven't done that in a while, and it was behind a webcam, not with a professional setup like we have right now. But
Yeah.
let's start by explaining a little bit what we want to do here. We both moved here to San Francisco, Silicon Valley, the Bay Area, however you want to call it. Actually, 2 years, 1 year and a half ago.
Yeah. It's for me this is not my first time here, but moving definitely like to San Francisco, in the city, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we both moved here to do a master's in business analytics. We met at school, and one of the main purposes of us moving here is because we felt a little bit stuck in our countries. Professionally, we wanted to grow, and also personally here, there is a lot of things, a lot of opportunities to learn, and there are a lot of things that you can learn from really interesting people. And that's why we chose to come here in the first place, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's really I was here the first time for like a year and a half, and when I moved back, what I missed most was the potential of like learning every day. Like the people that I was meeting here randomly on the streets or even or at work were so interesting compared to who I was meeting in Italy, and that to me is extremely motivating because I really believe that one of my favorite ways to learn is to talk to people and with different experiences, and I believe that everyone can teach you something, and in an environment like this is extremely true.
Yeah, and that's a little bit where Iteration 1 and this whole project comes into place, because we need an excuse to keep learning. Basically, this whole thing is an excuse because we finished the masters and now we're doing our practice training and getting a little bit more into the professional work again. But we wanted an excuse to keep learning, and that is where this project, Iteration 1, comes into place. The idea is to have a conversation between us once a month, because we found out that we are going on trips, we're going skiing, we're gonna do some stupid stuff that we normally do, and we have really interesting conversations about like marketing. Federico's expert in marketing, or like tech, or different things that we are really interested in, and we wanted an excuse to kind of go into more depth about them.
Yep.
And why not like share this experience and the journey of us learning here in Silicon Valley with everyone.
Exactly. And also we are, as he mentioned, completely different people. Like he's an engineer and he works in telecom.
Nerd.
And, and I am the opposite. I'm the creative and work in marketing and growth. So we have two different views about the world and about the market. But at the same time, like as you mentioned, we often end up having interesting conversation, or at least to us are interesting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not interesting for everyone, but
So-
the idea here is to. So we're gonna have, as we mentioned, one episode per month. We're gonna try.
We'll start. So this is a trial.
Yes, this is a first trial. So if we see that it's interesting, we'll probably keep doing it. But the idea is to do one episode like this per month, where we chat about different things that we've learned, and then we're gonna have in the channel separate videos and separate concepts. We want to do interviews to people because, again, that's one of the that's the whole
one
point,
of the
right?
interesting part about being here in Silicon Valley, and in particular in my role here, I have the chance to meet so many interesting people, and I would love to share that opportunity with outside of just myself. So
Yes, and the other key thing that we want to do is, because we both have a little bit of background doing videos and kind of shooting a lot of stuff. We want to do some kind of mini documentaries where we go into a little bit more in depth, because here we're going to have a chat and we're going to go over these things, but
different topics,
yeah, different
very
topics.
superficially, because
Yes.
as we said, like, we're not experts. We are here to learn, and this is the whole project is to learn. So we're gonna cover a few different hot topics about that happened here in Silicon Valley or US, but even all over the world if something really interesting sparks up, and
but
superficially, and then
yes, but we want a space where we can go in depth into different topics that we are interested in, and that's where the different series of videos, we're going to call them the blueprint or something. We're still trying to figure it out. We just decided to kickstart the project and try to start talking about it. But we want to do a series of videos where we go into depth about different topics like AI, or even we want to do we both drink wine, so we'll probably do wine about wine and technology into the wineries and these kinds of different topics. Quantum computing, what is the supply chain of AI, what is coming. We're going to talk about it today.
Robotics,
humanoids. So there are a lot of topics that we want to go into a little bit more depth and kind of try to explain them in a way that everyone can understand them.
Yeah.
Because we are privileged. We have a privileged position of being here in the Bay Area, and we have access to a lot of people, and we have access to a lot of tech that still not in Europe or like in Spain or in Italy. We still don't have that tech.
Yeah, we have the chance here to really see this innovation, in particular AI, obviously, but firsthand. Like every day here, there are news about AI, and I can only imagine in my little town in Italy, like these things will arrive years later. Like I'm talking to, for example, my sisters or my friends, and some things that here are completely normalized in Italy are not, and they will not be for another few years. So not that they are behind, because absolutely that's not what I'm saying. It's just that this is where this innovation happens. Yeah. So of course, things will arrive to us faster, and I feel like it's definitely a privileged spot that we have.
So we want to kind of try to bridge that gap, and it's a perfect excuse for us to keep learning. So welcome everyone to Iteration 1. This is the first episode. We're going to have this chat now. We'll have interviews, and we'll have some deep dives into different topics that we are interested in. Of course, we're more than welcome to receive suggestions and feedbacks about things that you want to discover. But for now, the idea is to do topics that we are interested in. We don't really care about views or anything. We just want to...
we are doing it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Then if you follow us, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. But it's an excuse for us to keep learning. So, what do you say if we kickstart the conversation? We've prepared a few topics, each of us, and we're going to have like a normal conversation. So
yeah, exactly.
Do you want to kickstart? Or?
Yeah, sure. So the first topic that I wanted to talk about is something extremely hot right now. That is what the ads that Anthropic has just run during Super Bowl and in the last few days about ads in AI. So what happened, just to give context, is that OpenAI has announced, and OpenAI is the company that makes ChatGPT, has announced that in the free plan and the cheap $8 premium of ChatGPT, there will be ads, and they will start testing ads. And that's interesting, because
I gotta say, I didn't know they had an $8 plan. I thought
me neither. Never even
when you
knew.
Told me the other day, I was like, I thought they had the free version
and
then
the $20,
like the $20, and then the enterprise version,
and then the 200 or something. I agree. I didn't know. This is what I read. I actually didn't check if it's true, but yeah. So this is interesting because I feel like it's a news that only tech people know about and really care about, and like the majority of the user of ChatGPT will not really care about that.
Because how do you think they're gonna integrate it? Is it gonna be like plain ads, or is it when you're gonna ask about give me a restaurant recommendation, it's gonna recommend you the ones that are paying, or how is it gonna work?
So that's the interesting part. We don't know yet, and this is what is creating all these discussion, because and what they will do is that they will show ads that are related to the questions. Okay. And according to Sam, the CEO of OpenAI, my friend Sam, that will not really impact the answer. So there will be the answer for ChatGPT that is standard, following like all the data and patterns that they have already using the standard model, and then under that there will be a define like a clearly ad section with like sponsored and then the ads related to it. At least this is what they're saying. The question is that gonna be really not impact? Is that not impacting the answer? And we don't know.
Yeah,
They have to test it.
It's a little bit tricky, right?
Like they have to do it, and we have to see.
I mean, yeah, because there's probably the majority. I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna bet that the majority of the people using ChatGPT is the free account, and not the paid subscription.
Probably.
So you need to find a way to monetize all of those probably millions of users. Also with Sora, I believe it's only available here in the US, but when it comes to Europe or the rest of the world, you're gonna need a way to monetize all of those users, right? Because there's a big chunk of people that you're not monetizing, and they're spending a lot of IT resources and a lot of power, compute power, to generate those answers, and you're not monetizing. So ads and publicity is one of the it's probably the main
it's like.
But how do you do it in a way that it's not, fake or like because a lot of people now, when you prompt to ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, you just kind of believe whatever it says.
Yeah.
So you don't really compare like before when you went to Google and you do a search. Well, you compare different websites and then you compare different sources and different opinions. Now ChatGPT tells you, oh, this is the best restaurant, and then you're like, okay, I'll just go there.
Yeah.
So if instead of that, they're gonna position first a restaurant that is paid. I don't know.
The thing is, if you like, I don't know what my opinion is on this. I have to be real, because if you think about it, even Google has ads. So when you do a research, the first 3, 4, 5 options are sponsored results.
But you know it.
Yes, exactly. You know it, and that's exactly what they want to do. So they want to do the answer, and then below they want to do like a sponsor section. The thing is, the real problem and doubt that there is right now is that in Google you still see all the other options. In these LLMs, you will get the result that tells you, oh yeah, you should definitely go there, and then the paid ads clearly defined. How are they, like, the question is, are they, how do they guarantee that the answer that they sent before is not influenced by the fact that someone is paying?
Well, I guess we're going to have to trust what they say, right? We'll never know.
We'll never know, so they have to try. But what Anthropic did, which I believe it was really a win for them, is that they created ads that simulated a conversation one-to-one to a person, and fake that the person that I'm talking to is an LLM. So the fun fact is that it was speaking like an LLM, saying absolutely, or of course, like you are right, this is a great idea, but like the standard answer that ChatGPT gives you. And talking about different topics, they did, I think, a series of 4 of them. But the fun part is that during the conversation, the user asks something, the LLM answer correctly like a normal LLM would do, and then puts in an ad, tells you, oh, you should definitely buy that. And they made it in a fun way, a little bit controversial, to make it more fun and to make it more viral. But I personally believe that they did great. And also, the most important part, they ended up saying Claude, which is their LLM model, will not have ads.
Okay, so these were ads that they played during Super Bowl?
Yeah, they played one ad during Super Bowl.
So they play one of these to mock, like,
to mock OpenAI,
laugh about, like, ChatGPT or OpenAI about their recently announced.
Exactly. Which is interesting, because with this ad, not only they position themselves in a unique way, in particular to users that are not tech. I believe that ChatGPT is more for like normal user, not tech, more
like a mainstream.
Yeah, mainstream. While Anthropic and Claude, even if still could be potentially for everyone, is still something that was born more for tech people, and so is known more by tech people. Maybe this is my perception. I'm not 100%
I believe
sure
it's
it's
a
true.
perception, but I read the other day. Well, let me show you. I think I took a screenshot because this was interesting. They were comparing the different LLM models, and here it is. You see, like ChatGPT in 2023, it was 50% of the market share. So 50% of all of the queries that people were doing were in ChatGPT. Anthropic, it was 12%, and Gemini was 7%. Now, OpenAI ChatGPT is 25%, so they lost half of their market share. And then Google Gemini, which when ChatGPT came out, everyone thought, oh, this is the end of Google, right? Because everyone is going to start, just querying everything to ChatGPT and forget about doing searches on Google. So Gemini is 20%, so it's almost the same market share as ChatGPT. But Anthropic is 32%.
But I think because Anthropic is doing so well with like all the coding stuff.
Yes.
For the tech people, I think they're doing a great job.
Yes.
But also Gemini, they arrived later, but I think they're catching up amazingly. Also because, but the question, my question on that is like, is it only including the real like query that I sent to Gemini, or is including also the AI suggestion that Google has, as also including
probably
I think so. Because also they just signed with Apple, if I'm not wrong.
Siri is going to be Gemini.
Exactly, and so they are doing good partnership, and they are definitely gonna increase their market share, at least from what I feel.
That's interesting because Google pays a lot of money to Apple every year. I think it's like around 20 billion with a B dollars.
Wow.
for Google to be the default search engine in Safari. In the iPhones, right? So when you go to your iPhone and you open Safari, or even in your Mac, you open Safari, your predefined search engine is Google, right? Because most of the people, they don't ever change their default search engine. Only people, nerds like me, we go and use
taste the different one.
or different kinds of browsers and different search engines. But most of the people, they just use the default one. So this is great for Google. They just paid a lot of money to Apple so that they keep Google as their default one, because they could use, Apple could very easily use their own, right?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the opposite, right? So Google has a superior technology, Apple has not invested or is not investing a lot in AI, and Siri, they were the first one, they were the first...
first like assistant, AI assistant.
Yes, the first assistant, because do you remember like the first iPhones?
Yes.
That you could ask, set a timer or things like that.
Which was crazy. Now I can get all my business plan from ChatGPT.
Yes, like 10 years ago, you could just, set a timer, and it was cool, right? Talking to Siri. And then Alexa came along, and Google Home came along. And now Apple is going to pay Google to use Gemini models to enhance Siri, because they fell behind a little bit. So...
Yeah, this is definitely interesting.
That's interesting.
But this was a real topic of discussion, online at least, because of the trust that is getting, like that OpenAI is losing with this introduction of ads.
Yeah.
And I have the feeling that like the majority of users don't even know about this and don't care.
Yeah. Right, because your mom is going to keep querying.
Yeah, like they don't care.
Yes.
The question is more like, what's the impact of this if the paid ads will get included or will influence somehow the standard answer? And I believe that Anthropic with these videos really translated this in a clear problem for users that are not tech enough, or they to translate what this means into a real impact. Yeah. And so I think they did a great job with that and positioned themselves and highlighted their values. And this is going to be interesting to see what OpenAI will do to face that, or to control this loss of trust from at least the side of like more technical people that understand how this model works. So I think this is an extremely interesting topic, and we'll see.
Well, there's a whole war developing right now, right? Because it was like Microsoft versus Google versus Apple, sorry, and then IBM, and IBM then stopped being
and this is a new
cool,
fight.
and IBM now look at their stock, they're doing great, but and now there's another fight, right? So
Yeah.
Gemini and all of the different LLM models, and we have in Europe we have Mistral, which is very interesting. I was reading the other day that they've already they already have more ARR, so like annual recurring revenue, than Grok. So they were around like $400 million, and Grok was like, I don't know, 300 or $350 million, something like that in ARR. So we see a huge war, also between Europe and the US, because traditionally, and now I want to like use this as a segue a little bit into like a topic that I wanted to bring. Traditionally in Europe, we have this feeling, and we talked a little bit about that in the beginning, that we don't have tech or that we are lagging behind. So there's a lot of regulation, and it's true, we have a lot of regulation. We normally regulate things that we don't even have, like AI. We don't have much AI, and we're regulating it. But that's not entirely true, right? Because we have Mistral, for example. They're a big player in AI, and they have a lot of models. But also in Europe, we have one key piece of technology that is making AI work. If I ask you, like, who do you think is behind AI right now? Which companies come to mind?
Oh, wow. Like not the model, the infrastructure,
OpenAI, yes,
like NVIDIA?
NVIDIA, for example, is one, or Intel or AMD. So all of the IC, all of the all of the designers of these GPUs that are used to train the models, right? So we need a lot of compute power to be able to train these LLMs and compete. And everyone, even like the not power users, so they probably think about NVIDIA because they make the news. So
because like, NVIDIA is NVIDIA.
Right, like $4 trillion company, they could buy 2 times Spain, right? Because our GDP is probably 1/3 of NVIDIA's value and market share. But NVIDIA, probably a lot of people that are listening to this don't really know, but NVIDIA, they don't manufacture anything.
Okay.
So NVIDIA, what they do is they design the ICs, they design the chips, they design the GPUs, and then the manufacturing part of it, they outsource it. Yes, right. So they outsource it mainly to Taiwan. I don't know if you know the name. TSMC is the Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company, something like that. TSMC, it's a huge player in the world of GPUs. They basically manufacture all of the NVIDIA, AMD, all of the different providers. Intel, they have their own foundry. Foundry are the companies that they manufacture these things, and they use a technical process called lithography, which basically what they do is they have a wafer. A wafer is probably you've seen these little circles. So it's basically a layer like this. And it's a multi-layer thing. And so what they do is they have a laser. Basically explaining that.
Yeah, that's to be very precise.
So basically what they do is they shoot a laser into the wafer, and they print the transistors in the wafer, right? So all of the computers, they work with transistors. So they have a laser. And TSMC is one is probably the biggest player. Then there's Samsung. They also have their own foundry, and Intel, they have their own foundry. So, but the main one is TSMC, and they basically manufacture the whole thing
all
for
the
NVIDIA.
processor and
right. So, but TSMC, so NVIDIA relies on TSMC, which is in Taiwan, but TSMC relies on a company which is called ASML, which is based in the Netherlands, which all of the technology that makes possible for TSMC and all other foundries to print those chips, the lithography technology, those machines are made and designed in Europe.
Oh, wow.
Right. So we a lot of the times we have in Europe this conception of, we're not good enough, we need more tech, we need more engineers, we need to invest more, which is true, like we need to invest more on technology and industry. But we still have a lot of power in the world when it comes to technology.
It's actually very interesting because at my workplace, we just add a cohort. What we do is we bring startups here from Italy, and we just had a cohort about hardware and robotics, and that's like we are good at that because we have exactly what he mentioned. So the ability to build machine, because during 80s, 60s, 70s. That's what our revolution was on that. And so we had that expertise, and plus the new technology, we are able to build to make AI hardware and physical. And so I'm not surprised that we're good at building this kind of machine, extremely precise and extremely reliable, but also it's not a known thing. Like everyone doesn't think about it. No one thinks about it.
Yeah, no one
except
knows
the
about
people inside the industry. So, and that's really cool, and we should definitely push
a lot
that.
And it's very interesting how all of the dependencies in the supply chain of all of the chips and all of the GPUs that are needed to train these models. We all think about NVIDIA or Intel, but there is a whole huge ecosystem behind that powers this. Because NVIDIA, they don't manufacture a single GPU, so they outsource everything to TSMC, and TSMC, the machines that they use to manufacture that. So ultimately, the whole supply chain depends on a European company that is based in the Netherlands, is ASML, and it's a huge company. And they have this piece of technology which is really interesting.
Yeah, and they still have to fight with all our regulation and do everything. So this is really good. The fact that this is a proof that we're not behind. We're just a little bit different, and we have to play on that strength. Like there are things that we might struggle to compete in, but also things that other countries and other countries and economies can't compete because we have the expertise. So this is extremely interesting.
And also talking about AI, there's a lot of applications in AI. I believe Lovable is based in Europe.
Yeah, in Stockholm. I know Sweden. I don't know if it's Stockholm. I think it's Stockholm.
And I think I was listening to an interview of the CEO, and he was saying, no, we're not going to go to the US because the engineers there are so expensive, and they're not better than the engineers we have here.
Yeah.
So these kinds of things that we are seeing in Europe, it's very interesting, how we have also an ecosystem in Europe.
You know that this is actually an extremely interesting topic that I, as like European, the left, didn't think about. There was recently we had one of, I think it's called Andrea Carcano, and he's the founder, CEO of a company called Nazomi Network. And this company just got sold, completed an exit to Mitsubishi. I'm pretty sure it's Mitsubishi. And he's Italian.
What do they do?
So, cybersecurity. I think they have built like protocols and stuff. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about cybersecurity. But yes, they are a cybersecurity company. I believe that they protect data inside the different companies. But they started years ago, so when this was not a topic. And the story is extremely interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to bring him in like one of the interviews, because he's one of the few unicorn of Italy. But anyway, the main thing that I wanted to say is that all these companies, so you build this international company, unicorn, sold, etc. He said that all the research department and the majority of the engineers are in Italy, Italian in Italy, because he said that there is no need to look for engineers here. We have the talent in Europe, and actually sometimes it's even better. What we are not good at is selling. Is marketing and all these kind of things.
And also a little bit the mindset, right?
Yes.
Because that's what we've experienced here in the Bay Area and in the US in general, is that there is this mindset here of growth, and like we have a company, a startup, we try, we fail, but they don't see failure as like something bad.
That's the best part.
They see failure about like an opportunity to grow and to learn. Which is also an excuse and a part of what we're doing.
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
Right?
We are very afraid to fail, but at the same time,
we're still doing
it.
So I think the message that I wanted to send with this, like ASML and bringing all of this, is that in Europe we have a lot of technology, and we should be proud of that. But here, when you think about AI, you only think about NVIDIA, right? Because they've done the marketing, they've done it correctly. Yes, and they've positioned themselves as the leaders, which they are. I mean, it's a $4 trillion company, but there is a lot of things behind that we forget about, and that I believe it's important to also know.
That's extremely true. Let's double check if the camera is still recording. Good job.
Oh, this one wasn't recording.
I think we can move on to the next topic,
Yes.
and I wanted to mention Super Bowl. Like, it just happened. Is one of the most important marketing events here in US, and this one was different from
Why?
the past. So, first of all, we're in San Francisco, so of course AI.
Oh, it was here. Super Bowl was here.
Yeah,
So, how was the city?
mess. But I actually saw some videos online that said that the city was extremely nice and interesting and clean.
Because just to make sure we were not in the city, we
Yeah,
decided
we were
to
skiing.
leave the city to go skiing instead of dealing with the mess that it was. For Super Bowl.
Exactly.
But it was exciting. Well, please,
Yeah. So there was a lot of AI, and I did a little reading about AI ads and ads in general at the Super Bowl. Usually, that's like a very important place to be for big companies, and so that was to me interesting when I wanted to started to do some research for this conversation. That was one of the topics that I wanted to talk about. So I did some research, and apparently people started to call this as the Super Bowl AI, because obviously in San Francisco 2026 everyone is talking about AI. So a lot of the ads are about AI, which to me is and not only to me is extremely interesting, because the target people that are at the Super Bowl are not really
super techy. Yeah.
super technical and linked to it. So because the Super Bowl is America event, extremely important for the culture here, but AI is here, San Francisco, and everything else it's not. And one fun fact that shocked me when I read it, I knew that was a crazy number, but I didn't know. So for 30-second ad, the price is around 8 million.
What?
8 million for 30-second ad. But okay, it's still one of the most viewed events in the US. But what was interesting to me is that a lot of the ads, like if you think about like all the Super Bowl ads, they are like inspirational, motivational. Like they have the brands tell a story. They take that 30-second or more time to show the value of the brand, to show their goals, their impact on society, or like try to make the customer fell in love.
Okay.
So like Nike, the typical Nike ad about an athlete coming from nowhere, etc. But this year was different. A lot of the ads were really sale.
They were trying to sell.
And they were talking. To me, the perception is that they were not talking to customer. They were talking to enterprises. They were talking to the market. So what I read about in multiple articles is that this event for AI as industry was a moment to show and to represent and tell the world that the AI is important. So
because it was the first. Because I don't remember last year. It was like also like AI, or it was still
no,
not that much?
it was definitely not that much.
Okay.
There were like this year there were like 18 new companies that made ads for the first time, and like 40% of them are AI.
Okay.
Which is understandable. We are in San
They have
Francisco.
a lot of funding.
It's not a crazy number, but is more like the whole amount.
Yeah.
There was like the majority of ads in the past were like about food and beers, or sports equipment. But right now they are tech, which for a sports event is interesting. Like, it's a new thing, and people say that this was a way to signal the market that AI is the topic to the world, because obviously like we live in our bubble here and obviously AI is a thing, but it was a moment to signal the market that AI is the real hot topic. There was .com and now there is AI. There was crypto last year.
Yeah,
I think
crypto,
exactly
a few years ago. Yes.
Exactly, and
but I think this is bigger.
This, what do you mean?
Like this wave.
Oh yeah,
it's way bigger than
yeah,
blockchain.
yeah. I think it's gonna yeah, it's definitely bigger than crypto. There was only one ad about crypto, I think, this year.
Coinbase probably.
Yeah,
or-
and they were the worst ad.
Yeah,
Like literally voted the worst ad. I saw it was like, what the fuck. And like one thing is super interesting, and that is that talking about crypto, the founder of or CEO, I don't know if it's the founder of Crypto.com, bought a domain called AI.com
Ooh, okay.
for like, wait, I have it written, it's like crazy number. Let me find it. Okay, I will not find it, but a crazy number. And he made an ad, of course, like the total was like, okay, 70 million, but okay,
$70 million
for
domain.
AI.com,
We
but
should
it's
start buying
AI.com.
domain. Okay, yeah, okay.
And it's pretty cool that he
Makes
had
sense, yeah.
he has crypto.com and AI.com.
He's
and
collecting domains, the guy.
Yeah, but like cool domains, and he spent 50 million for the ad, and the ad was like, what he's selling, at least from my understanding, is literally just the domain, so you can write like ai.com/Miguel, and then you can put your stuff in it.
Okay.
So like you build credibility, you have like a
'cause you
more
have the cool domain.
you have the cool domain, you have the easy to find
that's an
domain, the
interesting
credible
business model.
domain, which is crazy.
That's an interesting
Like,
business model, yeah.
Extremely interesting because I would have never thought about it, but it's actually like, we'll see if it was the right choice.
Yeah. No,
But
I mean, domains is a really interesting business model.
yeah,
Different countries, they have the domains assigned, right? So .es is Spain,
.it
.it
is Italy.
Right, but Twitch, for example, the streaming platform is twitch.tv. So I think TV is from like Tuvalu or some country that is like a small country, and I don't remember the name of the country, but I like a big chunk of their GDP, maybe like 10 or 20% of the country's GDP was coming from the domain.
No, really.
Yes, because they were selling the domain of like .tv. I think it was .tv. I
That's
don't remember
super
exactly,
cool.
but one of these ones was like a big chunk of the money the government and the state was making was from the domain that they have assigned to their country.
It's crazy.
So the fact that this guy just went out and bought like a $70 million.
Yeah, he spent like for the launch 85 million in total between the buying the domain and doing the ad. But the best part is that his website is empty, and it says like I don't know, book your name. That's it.
And then you can just go and buy it.
That's it. No, you can't even. I don't think you can pay. But it
Oh,
was
not the domain,
that was
but
like
like-
the highest conversion ad in
I
the
bet,
in
I
the
bet.
all.
Oh yes, just claim your handle, launch your
Yeah,
AI.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like he had like a 9.1 or something times the engagement of all the other ads average. Like it was crazy, but for AI.com. So that to me was extremely interesting.
What
And,
else? What else? What else?
No, I love stories. So I'm a fan of like the Budweiser. Is it pronounced like that? The beer, the beer.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Ad. So the top 3 rated ads are still like emotional and storytelling, and they are like beers, Coke, Pepsi, and what was the other one? Dunkin'. So food related stuff. But there was a crazy amount of ads. Oh, one ad was Ring. Do you know the company that makes the yeah, and they made an ad.
Ring bells, yeah.
Exactly, ring bells for doors, and are extremely popular here. They made an ad.
I think they got bought by Google. I don't remember. But
I'm not sure, but they made an ad and launched a new AI feature, which created like a mess online for people that are in that like looking, because what they launched is the possibility to find the lost dogs. So what they do is, we have cameras all over the country and we see the images. And so you can tell us, I lost this dog, and they can check the cameras and find it for you. The thing is, of course, everyone that has a little bit of brain is like,
to the dog.
what the fuck? Like now this is the excuse. They can spy us. Yeah. Like if they can do it for the dog, what is stopping them from like finding a person?
Yeah.
And so there was like this.
Just put an AirTag on their dog. Man.
But yeah, there was like all this discussion online about that, and obviously it's still related to AI, and obviously it's still related to all this ethical that is coming out with these new technologies that are going so fast that we are not ready for it. The world is not ready for it. The legislation is not ready for it, and so this new feature creates a debate between ethical, what's right, what's wrong, what's the if this is used for good, this is great, but if it's used for bad, what's gonna happen? So there is all of this, and I think I will talk about that even in the next topic. But I want you to
but when it comes to marketing and the Super Bowl, I also read that one of the other ads that made a lot of impact. Probably Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he
for Salesforce.
Yes, he associated with. He came to an agreement with Salesforce to do an ad for Slack. I think it was for Slack, and he posted a tweet saying like, "Hey, I had a great idea about an ad. If anyone wants to." And then Salesforce CEO was like, "Oh, I have."
You can come. Let's see.
Yeah, probably all of that was staged, but what he did was. I think he did a kind of like a hunt, and there was like a prize, right? So
like typical Mr. Bean.
Yes, they partnered with like a puzzle company. They create like really hard puzzles, and so they created this puzzle and they put it inside Slack, and there is like $1 million prize or something like that. And if you want to solve it, you need to do everything through Slack. And I think that was an interesting way of getting not only the image of Mr. Beast, which is really big between like young people and the younger generations, and make them download Slack. But my question is, why do you think people who follow Mr. Beast
are interested in Slack?
Right, because it's a company tool. It's like Teams.
Yeah, it's an enterprise tool.
So why do you think they? I don't know.
I believe that they are doing it because as like other companies did their ads in Super Bowl is to tell everyone that they exist and they are the leader. This Super Bowl was more like showing that who are the leaders, who is the biggest one, and I believe in that. And also there is like, if I have to start thinking and trying to connect things, and people download, and so people already have the app inside, and it's easier then to introduce them to the product. But I agree with you, like the target audience of Mr. Beast is not the target of Slack. So it's gonna be interesting to see but online that was like one of the lowest rated ads, was like actually the people didn't like it. But also, who you're talking to? Like, you're talking to the Super Bowl. Like, why are you doing an ad like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the thing is, everyone talked about it.
Yeah.
So that could be the other side.
There is no bad marketing, right? There's no bad publicity.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of companies are embracing that, because in this world where there is so much content and everyone is talking about everything and no one is talking about nothing, it's important to like have people hate you or love you. Yeah. And you so if it creates discussion like that's the way to go. At least this is what some of the company are doing, and it's still ethical question. Like in this case, maybe less.
Well, talking about ethical questions, you had another topic that you. Yeah. We have a group and we said, "Oh, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that," and then I saw one of your topics. It was about like.
So there is a Nucleus EVF. That is a company. So EVF or IVF, I think in English is said. For people that don't know, is like in vitro fertilization. So you take the embryo from. Now I'm not a healthcare practitioner or whatever, but you analyze the embryo to make a kid. You analyze the two parts, and you put them together in lab, and then you make a kid. So this is the standard process. Very
that's
easy.
How you were born.
Exactly, in the lab. But no, the thing is, this company. Huh?
With love, with a lot of love.
With a lot of love, of course, but at the same time, it's still. I can't come up with the word. It's like not real. Like not real. That's not the right word. It's like something you do in lab. Okay, fine. It makes sense like that. I will not look for that word. But anyway, what this company does is that analyze the embryos and is able to tell you which one is better according to different statistics that they have. For example, the probability that this embryo will get cancer, or probability that this embryo will have diabetes, or these kind of things, which super cool. But now there are other statistics that are like physical appearance, tall, short, eyes, and smart IQ. So there are. This is ethical, very ethical, and to become like a topic, what they did is to pretty much do what Sydney Sweeney with American Eagle did about the genes. So they started to make ads, and in New York right now, with like flyers and posters and ads saying like, "Have the best baby," or "Our babies are the best," or "Our baby." The fun part is that they put this ad in front of American Eagle saying, "Our babies have the best genes."
No way.
So like creating all of these like discussion and pissing off people and having people rage about it, which I found that extremely interesting, mainly because it's a crazy technology to me. Like not technology, but it's a crazy discovery or a scientific analysis. I don't know what's the actual term, but to me is absolutely crazy. And they're selling it for like $10,000, which is a.
I don't think it's that expensive.
I don't think it's that expensive
for what they're offering. I don't think it's that expensive.
And but yeah, so the situation is that with this new ad, they got. Let me check exactly the number. I think like. 1,700% more engagement and conversion from the ad clients.
They play right into the controversy.
Increasing sales since they began the ad in November.
And they play into the controversy of the American Eagle ad. And I believe the lesson that we can get from here is that when and you mentioned it before, right? Not everyone can love you, and in a world where we're trying to be everyone super politically correct, you're kind of not generating any emotion on your customers because everyone is just saying the same speech. So I feel like when you're trying to market your product, and this is not only for this or for a clothing brand, but for every different thing that you have, and even for your personal brand, right? So if you try to stay neutral on everything, you're not creating any emotion on people, right? Because in a world where you have a lot of content, you need to position yourself some way. Or
in very bold way.
Yes.
But sometimes people like you have to go a little bit far in the boldness and outside the Hoyer to be remembered.
That's what American Eagle did. Now everyone, probably a lot of people remember American Eagle.
And people hate it or love it.
There will be a lot of people that hate it, but there are a lot of people that are like, I'll just
but
go
at the same time, like I feel like this kind of technology is like is targeted obviously to high earning families, and I have to say, like, if they can get a better kid, statistically, like it's so bad to say it.
No, but
I can see the appealing. You know, I can see why people could be interested in it, and I can see why other part of the population that can access this kind of technology are completely against it, because these can really, if I would say if this is true, which for scientific research should be true. I've not tested myself. These can be an absolute problem, a huge problem, because that can create even more separation between the classes.
I have a hot take. I have a hot take here.
At least this is what people have said.
Yes,
and I would agree.
But who do you think would be the most interested to, or which player do you think is the most interesting one to succeed, or for this, like trying to select the embryos without diabetes or without this? So I would say insurance companies are the first one that they would want to offer this as a service to their customers, because they can make sure that the people that they're going to insure in 20 years, they're not going to have a huge, I don't know, like a cancer or like a huge illness that is going to be extremely expensive for insurance companies, at least here in the US. So yes, you're right. Like for now, I think it's the target of that is like high earning or like
because now it's B2C,
right? But
it could be B2B.
I see here a potential push from the insurance companies to be like, okay, let's try to put this in our plans, or not the I want my kid with blue eyes, or I want my kid to be blonde, or brunette or whatever, but more of the okay, let's try to select the embryos that they don't have. I don't know, they have
risk of cancer or stuff like that.
Less risk of cancer or diabetes or like really serious illnesses that are a problem, and that cost a lot of money to insurance companies. So I see them kind of like maybe in the future trying to include this in their plans, which $10,000 or
it's not crazy. But considering the prices here.
Yes, but if they scale because it's super niche now, right? So if they scale, and with economies of scale, if they can get it down to 2,000, maybe an insurance company is like, oh, I'd rather pay 2,000 now than having a chance of having to pay millions of dollars in the future on a medical bill. So that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, no, it's like your point definitely makes sense, and is extremely interesting because business-wise makes sense. And then there is all the ethical part outside of that, which obviously each person has his own opinion and taste. But this, I feel like this is as we mentioned earlier, this is a trend that we see from like companies that want to stand out, of try to create that shock in the customer.
No, and the marketing strategy was great.
Yeah, the discussion, in particular the discussion online. So they do it physically, but the real goal is to have people making videos about it, commenting about it, hating on it, because between the people that will see this hate video are also potential customers that didn't know about this technology. As me, I'm not a potential customer, but I didn't know about it, and I saw it through a video that was hating on it. And then the ability to convert that into an actual customer, because when you first see the ad, the impact is very negative, but then you look into the website, etc., and to my opinion, they do a good job into transforming that negativity into facts and rebalance the perception. We talk about all this marketing. Let's go back in tech.
You made a good point, and well, we had to do a little cut because we were we had to change the camera. But you mentioned we were talking a little bit about healthcare and insurance companies and technology in healthcare, and I think one of the topics that I wanted to bring today is that in Harvard they just released actually last week technology that is like 3D printing. Well, we all know that prosthetics. We all know that prosthetics. It's a big market. I think, were you in the slopes when we met this guy?
Yes.
We were going up the lift, and then we met this guy that was doing the prosthetics, and then he had like 3 or 4 clinics around the Bay Area. So it's a huge market, and there is a lot of money there. But they're also really expensive, and a lot of the times they're not they're not precise enough. And so, for example, with hands prosthetics, and not even for prosthetics, but also humanoids or like robots, the dexterity of the hands, or the humans, we do these things very naturally, right? So we get the glass of water, it's very natural. But for robots or for prosthetics, it's really hard to have the whole range of motion that we have.
Yeah, and not only have the range of motion, like also like because we added the hardware cohort, we had a few startups that were building hands. So I talked to them, and one of the things that is really hard is that robots don't have the sense of touch or of touching.
Pressure, right?
So it's really hard to understand the pressure without having that sensor.
So this fixes that. Actually, that's the whole point. So thank you for bringing it up, because what they did is so there's a lot of 3D printing in prosthetics already, but mostly for like a bone or something. So they just 3D print it with tough materials. But what they're doing is they can 3D print. The example that they put is a hand, and this 3D printer has like different extrusors in the same one. So basically, they print the hand, and inside the printing is kind of thick. So it's not like the little 3D printer that you can print your stand for your phone or whatever. It's the extrusor is like where the thing comes out. It's very big, and so inside of it, it has little tubes. The printing, it has little tubes where you can put pressurized air inside. So you have the hand like this, and when you put pressurized air into the hand, it starts folding the fingers. And the cool part of it is that you can control each tube of air. This is a very gross explanation, but you can control every tube of air with different pressures. So you can actually translate the amount of pressure you are putting in the air into the pressure that the fingers are making when they're closing. Right? So that's one of the ways that they're thinking of, like, okay, we can actually measure the pressure we need to hold your tablet.
Through air.
Yes, like it's just pressurized air. I mean, this is going to require a lot of development. This is just a lab test. We'll put a picture somewhere to show it to people. It's pretty cool because maybe I can show you so you can have a little bit of a view, but I think I have it somewhere.
While you look, I've seen a few companies that like were building hands, and so to give context, there are two different, at least from my understanding, of course, there are two different types of ends that you can build. That are like extremely simple one, which grabs and open and close, and then there are the more complex one that have the full range of motion and the pressure, etc. And different robots need different things. So not every robot has to invest in a technology like this, because it's obviously more expensive and more precise, needs more technology behind. So there are even ends that are more simple and they just simply open and close, are extremely valuable in the market. I've seen trying to solve this problem with extremely sensitive motors.
Like probably servo motors. Or something.
Exactly, servos motors that can really control that. And I saw actually a hand, like in person, holding the paper glass. They are super thin, and for a human it's very easy to hold it without closing it, without breaking it, or without dropping it. But they were able to like hold it with the right pressure enough to not bend it, and put water inside and keep it hold and increase the pressure slightly to keep it in a position. That's extremely cool. And the cool thing about this company is that they were used to make prosthetics. They were making prosthetics and for like 7 years or so, and they have collected a lot of expertise and data around that, and they are translating that into building the robotic hands. And so, cool. But yeah, now
I have the picture here. Yeah, I have the picture here. So basically, I don't know that's my camera. Okay. So basically, they 3D print. You see, this is the hand. And you can see in blue the little, all of the little tubes that go inside the hand. And then what they do is they push pressurized air inside, and then it closes the little hands. And here is a video like getting the apple of the hand. But this is not the only use case, because at the end of the day this is just there. So I don't know if they will end up using it for hands. But an application that they were saying this is very interesting for is precisely medical devices. Not prosthetics, but devices that are used to operate or like
surgery.
Surgery equipment, because you need to be extremely precise. And right now there's already robots that you can operate with them. But this kind of technology, I think, and what Harvard was saying, is that it can be really good to move
more precise.
Yes, extremely precise. Because right now, the way to control a servo is by degrees, and you can only go to a certain granularity of degrees that the servo can go, right? Or the motors, they can go. So with this, it's like, okay, you can put a little bit of pressure and maybe it goes a little bit the finger. Or
Yeah, it's like it doesn't click.
Yes.
And doesn't follow like the click of the servo, but it's more smooth.
Yes.
And so you can really follow each, like hit every spot.
Yes. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, the motors or the servos, they go. I mean, it's
yeah,
gross,
of course.
Right?
Like
it can be extremely
it's like
detailed, but at the end of the day, it's like
yeah, it's like the concept of
right?
the camera that has frames, and you put them together, you don't see the difference. But if you go in detail and you go precise, they are actually pictures put together. So the servo works exactly in the same way.
So this way, it's a way of doing a slow motion.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of shooting 24 frames, you're shooting, I don't know,
120 or
120,
yeah.
And then it can be extremely more precise.
Yeah, I saw another way actually very recently from another Italian engineer who is working in developing ants for a robotic company. Another way that he's trying to solve that problem, I don't know if he succeeded or not because I don't know how precise he has to be, but I think is interesting, is that he's doing that through ropes, like little strings.
Okay.
So rather than a servo, is like the strings gets pulled, and because of the different position of the strings, it will complete the how the hands close and allow the hands to close. So I believe that's another way that they are trying to do. I don't know how precise it is, but I saw a video and I wanted to mention it. It was extremely interesting. And it would be cool if we could interview one of these people, because I have this like these two contacts. They are here, so that would be an interesting. And I love robots. Yes. I don't know anything about it, but it's so
we've
cool.
Done a little bit of experience. We have a little bit of experience with
I'm not an engineer, but and we had the chance to like work with some of these companies. Extremely a fascinating word. Yeah. So I would love to chat about it and do more research about it. Do we have any other topic?
I have an extra thing. It's changing completely the topic.
Switch it up.
Well, you've probably heard of Temu.
I love
Shane.
Temu. I'm sorry to everyone that is against it. I am a user.
No.
Okay. I am sorry. I know it's wrong, and go back to the ethical. I know it's wrong.
I've only
but
bought
I've
once.
bought so many things.
I only bought once, and it's the mohawk that I have for my ski helmet.
You know,
picture here of how I look with the mohawk.
I bought a watch more than a year ago, and you're like, why did you buy a watch from Temu? Because I surf, and I was surfing. I think I was wearing this watch, and the chain broke. And I'm so happy I was able to catch it before it fell and went underwater, because I love this watch as a present. And so after that day, I was like, I need a super cheap watch that I don't care. And rather than going to Casio and buying a Casio, which would have been like $10 on Amazon, which is extremely cheap, I was in my Temu phase and I bought a watch, waterproof watch, for $4.99. $4.99.
Still lasts.
1 year and a half, and it's still working. And I surf every weekend with it, which is crazy. Like for $4, these guys, I hope they're adult. They were able to build a watch that is waterproof for the ocean, so also with salt and all of that lasts with the same battery. I didn't change the battery. Lasted a year and a half. Actually, I bought it before. I bought it when I was here after surfing. Yeah, so a year in the ocean, and it works still.
That's impressive.
It will break soon, but I would love to buy it again. Okay, let's go to the real thing.
I feel like their business model is coming to an end a little bit if they don't do something to change it, because the European Union, well, in the EU,
I know what you're going.
Yeah, so in the EU we have a lot of regulation, and we also have our trading war and our tariffs and stuff. So the European Union announced a few weeks ago that they were going to put a €3 tariff on every little package that comes from China. Under, I think it was like 5 or 10 euros value, they're going to put a €3 tariff. So this is very interesting, because in 1 year, in 2024, we had almost 5 billion packages coming from China. And this is a huge market. Also for Shane, I don't know, Shane is the same as Temu, but
I've never used Shane. I am Temu boy.
Me neither. I've never used
Temu
Shane.
mom.
But there is a concept called like fast fashion, which it was kind of created by Inditex and Zara, Amancio Ortega, my fellow Spanish people. But he has a huge. It's not only Zara or Zara, as we say.
Be Spanish.
Yes, Zara. So it's not only Zara, but it's Inditex. Is the whole conglomerate of companies. So there's Pull&Bear and other.
H&M.
So there's a lot of clothing brands inside. And actually, Zara introduced H&M introduced about 20,000 new item references in 2023. So new,
which is crazy.
20,000, yes. So it's one new collection about every 2 weeks, more or less.
Yeah.
Zara did the same, but it's instead of 23 or 24, it was 40,000.
Yeah. It was like once a month.
Yeah. So, but 40,000 references in 1 year.
Yeah, no.
So 40,000 new pieces of clothing, like socks, T-shirts, the whole thing.
Yeah,
40,000 in 1 year. It's crazy. Shane, it did 1.5 million new references, which is crazy. Which is crazy. But their whole business model, aside from the ethics of the manufacturing conditions and all of that, but the whole business model, it comes from people buying $10, $15, and if you put a huge tariff on that of €3, which is the European Union, their whole business model is gonna collapse because it's a huge. What are you gonna do? Their margins are so thin that they cannot absorb the tariff price on that.
Yeah, and they have to raise prices, and then the customer will not. Like we
are
all aware that the quality is not as we're used to,
right?
Let's say, and so the risk of buying something like that, the risk and the gain will not be worth it anymore.
Yes. So if you're buying on Temu, you just go to Amazon, right? For
like
$5 more.
Amazon is extremely cheap too.
Yes. Or if instead of you going to Shein, you go to Zara, which in Spain is very cheap. Not like also. So everyone here listening, if you want Zara clothes, just go to Spain, leave your money in Spain, and buy some Zara.
But it's getting more expensive. But also they're making, at least from my opinion, great clothing.
No, Zara
compared to like
quality.
5 years, no, maybe more than 5 years ago, when like it became a thing, the quality was like okay.
Yeah,
but now I think
they
are all, and they have also
like
the premium.
High, yes.
Yeah, now they have also premium clothing, and I love the designs, and
and their business model works, and actually it's interesting because Inditex, which is the matrix company for Zara, they have all of the clothes that are distributed throughout the whole world, they all pass through Spain. So all of the different manufacturing.
So the quality check is in Spain?
Yes. So they have a lot of manufacturing places all around the world. So in Asia, in Africa, in South America, and all of those clothes get shipped to Spain, to Arteixo, which is in the north of Spain, which is the HQ, and then they're building a huge new supply chain and logistics platform in my city for Inditex. And all of the clothes, they get shipped there, and then they get distributed, and then they get shipped to all of the different
there is a lot of expense.
I don't know
included in this process.
Sustainability wise, I don't know what they're doing.
But also business wise, there are a lot of expenses because sending them to Europe, in Spain, and then reselling, sending them and shipping them all over the world. That seems like an extra step that probably is worth it to have control and to maintain quality.
Yes, and
but also is interesting
to maintain the supply chain. Because I have a friend and he's in charge of building this new logistic platform in my city, and he was telling me that they have a commitment of like 99.99999% of supplies, which means that not a single store runs without the shipment coming that morning. They're huge. The logistics center that they have is probably one of the most like precise, and the strictness and all of the rules that they have, and everything is automated. So very few people work there because it's just everything goes through the.
Is it because they have a very little inventory in store?
Yeah, everything comes and goes, so they don't really have a lot of inventory.
Literally fast fashion.
Yes, they don't have a lot of inventory in the store or like in the storage,
warehouse.
They don't have a warehouse, so everything comes. And then they sort it out, so the jeans, the T-shirts, the thing, and then they split it across all of the different shops, and they
Wow.
They ship it to the stores.
I didn't know. It's super interesting.
Yes, it's really interesting. But the point was for Shane and Timo, because we always get sidetracked talking about different stuff. But the point is that they have a huge problem with this tariff thing. So I believe Shane, they already have, or is it Timo? One of the both, they already have a huge warehouse in the UK. So they ship everything to the UK, and then from there they distribute to Europe. But the other one,
I think it's Shane, but
Shane, they already have it in Europe.
I believe so because they are more. Maybe I'm saying stupid things.
Yeah, I think it's whatever.
It's
so
okay.
yeah,
it's not.
so one
it's
of
not
the
the point.
Yeah, so one of the other, and the other one is building a huge one in Poland because they need this to distribute inside of the European Union if they want to do that. And it is the same with.
Because will that reduce, like not be impacted by the new rule?
Yes, because the problem of that.
But that will increase
tax,
the price, the expenses
it
in
will,
another side.
But not that much.
Yeah, because they can amortize.
Yes, they split the cost, and they split the cost across all of the different products that they have and all of the different orders that they're getting. Because right now, you order this glass and these socks for $6.
I hope not the glass.
And well, yeah, you probably get broken.
Don't die here.
But I don't know, like if you order these socks for like $4, and then they ship them directly from China because they don't have any warehouses, so they ship them directly from China. So the $4 you have to have $3 tariff, like it's double the price, so you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But if you already have all of that inventory in say Europe, then you probably have to pay a little tariff but you bring them in bulk.
Yeah.
So you bring a whole container of socks and you store them there and then you ship them inside the EU.
Yeah. So rather than 9, it becomes 5.
Yes. So the cost for
That's
these companies, actually Amazon should kind of take a little bit of care about at least Temu, because in the European Union it's already really big, but in countries like South America, it's growing like crazy. Like Argentina, it was like 1,000% year-over-year growth. Mexico was like 300%. So the percentage growth of like Temu and Shein in South America,
South American countries,
and also in Europe is crazy. So Amazon and Oxxo different market places that there are in South America, they should be careful about their positioning in the market.
When you started this topic, I actually thought you were going to talk about what's happening right now with like the legislation. Now I don't know the details, but I just want to throw it out there. I don't know if it's Italy or Europe. I heard about it like this week. I think it's Europe, but because I don't think Italy just does it by itself. But they are having a huge trial because some sites that I can't mention, I'm so sorry guys, I was not prepared on this. They are using techniques like telling you that there is a discount that will end in 10 minutes, or there are user buying and it tells you, oh, user Miguel bought this, etc. While you are in the cart, for example, and completing the order. So all this technique, there is a trial happening that is saying that this is like it's
unethical
it's unethical and shouldn't do it, and it's like scamming the users because it's telling fake things to the user in order to rush them, and which it's a big deal because everyone used that.
Yeah.
And Temu,
it's marketing 101.
Yeah, and Temu and Shein are, I believe, expert
of
this.
You cannot go on the app.
You cannot open the app and you have presents.
Yeah.
You have a gift and roulette and I think they on that they are amazing because it's annoying as a user, but also if you want to buy something, you get so many things, you almost get addicted and getting
like
rewards.
Gambling.
It's almost a game.
Yeah.
And so they gamify that experience so much that they are very good at it. But at the same time, like if in Europe, this is starting to become a problem and starting to become something that go to trials, that might be another huge reason why these companies will struggle to expand in a country like that with that kind of regulation. Okay, we started again the camera. This is what we have. Okay, This is what we have.
All right.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
we are
this-
done with this. Is super interesting.
Yeah.
Super
yes.
fun.
Yes. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. I think
I
it was
loved
fun.
it. I don't know if we
Um,
did good.
I don't know. We'll let people judge, but I think it was fun to kind of bring these topics and kind of prepare a little bit.
Yeah,
keep reading
I love the fact that this forced me to look into a few topics, and I love the fact that I don't know what you're bringing. So it also becomes a conversation where like there are topics that I have no idea about, and I'm discovering it here right now, and that I feel like creates that real conversation, which. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I would love to do it again.
I mean, we have a group, and then we said, "Oh, we should. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that." But like, we don't give the details, so it's just like, "Okay, I want to talk about that."
And I have to say, I didn't even read what he wanted to talk about.
You're like,
I think I never sent you. I just told
you.
you.
Were like, I'll talk about marketing. I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah, like, well, we hope you enjoyed it and like the conversation. And
if you arrived here, like,
yeah, well, thank
please
you.
let us know. Like, if you watched like the whole thing,
I don't know
send
what
us a
time it is.
message and say
It's
we
been
watched
an
the whole.
hour or
I
so.
watched the whole thing. I would love to know if
Yeah.
someone is brave enough to listen to us like this long.
Yeah, but the whole purpose of this was like to kind of again, like it's like this whole project iteration one and the interviews and the mini documentaries that we want to make, the deep dives, and these conversations is just an excuse for us to learn and to keep up to date with the news and what's happening in the industry and what's happening here in this environment that we are so lucky to live in Silicon Valley, and kind of bridge the gap between what there is here and what we have back at home in Europe, in Italy, in Spain, and the whole EU in general. That's why I also brought some topics today about the European Union, because it's an excuse for us to learn and bridge that gap, right? So try to bring what we are learning here in Silicon Valley, all of the conversations that we've had, because we've had really interesting conversations with a lot of people in events, or like you meet people here, or meet people even surfing or skiing. Actually, we met we were skiing, and then on the lift we met the first employee of Google. So the guy started talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh no,
this is
I'm working."
America.
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the guy was like, "Oh, I used to work in tech," and I'm like, "Oh, where?" And he's like, "Oh, I used to work in Google in like 2002, 2003," and I'm like, "Okay." And then he told us like, "Oh, I know," and then we looked for him, and the guy was like the second or third employee at Google. So like these kinds of things only happen here in the Bay Area, and we want to shoot, and we want to capture all of these experiences that we're living, and we want to put them out there and kind of try to bridge that gap with our fellow European people.
Exactly. Let us know what you think, and thank you. And
thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Yeah, next month, hopefully. Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay. You have fun?
I loved it. I don't know if we did good.